Only few millionaires. You already know what it is. Come on.
Praying for a break, I just can't catch it. Holding the glass, but I just can't grasp it. Given the fact is it won't catch it. I'm patching up the past without trying to be passive. Living the past, I just can't get past it. It attacks our path, so we just can't get past it. Masking the fact I might be losing my passion. I've been lacking the act to just move past it. No, one day I'll lay up in the casket. I can't keep up the act, that's a closed caption. I wanna relax, but I can't cause I'm gasping. Trapped in my mind, these times just keep lapsing. The same act, relax, you got to move past this. The fact is I'm about to crack, back don't nag me. Sick of fake people willing to backstab me. Just got a new car, why the hell I wanna crash it? On everything I love, I used to dig through the trash can. Trading everything I love to get a bit of cash, man. Used to fiend for a fix to fix what I'm lacking. Need an overdose of hope to get past this. What you looking for, you won't find it a bad habit. It'll eat you alive, take everything you have, then back to square one like you never even had it. Feeling empty inside, overwhelmed with past baggage. Praying for a break, I just can't catch it. Holding the glass, but I just can't grasp it. Given the fact is it won't catch it. I'm patching up the past without trying to be passive. Praying for a break, I just can't catch it. Holding the glass, but I just can't grasp it. Given the fact is it won't catch it. I'm patching up the past without trying to be passive. Real talk, accept your past, just don't live in it. Learn from mistakes you make, just don't sit in it. Work on yourself and stay true to your name. The past is the past, so stay focused on today. Don't let trauma drive you every single day. Break your bad habits and don't be afraid to embrace the pain. Make new tactics, now that's the key to the game. Overcome all the doubt you've been feeding to the brain. This life thing will try hard to break up on your faith. Obstacles everywhere trying to rain on your parade. Don't let this defeat you or bring it to your knees. Shake off negativity and let the shame come to see. To look in your eyes, say you wanna give up, like you've never been enough. Yeah, you're feeling kinda rough, I assure you I've been through it too. So when I look at you, I know you're gonna make it through. Put one hand on your chest and one in the sky. So the past is behind me, I'ma stay real till I die. The past is behind me and that's where it'll stay. Driven to get better, tomorrow's a new day. I've been praying for a break, I just can't catch it. Holding the glass, but I just can't grasp it. Given the fact is it won't catch it. I'm patching up the past without trying to be passive. Praying for a break, I just can't catch it. Holding the glass, but I just can't grasp it. Given the fact is it won't catch it. I'm patching up the past without trying to be passive.
Hey, everybody makes mistakes in life, man, but it doesn't mean they have to pay for it the rest of their life.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Max Mind episode 2. I'm super pumped. I hope you guys are too. Alright, so today, one of the quotes I wanted to read off to you guys, something that's been resonating with me for a while now, and I wanted to share it with you guys. You've probably heard it before. I don't know who the author is, and that's okay. Whoever it was that said this the very first time, I would love to know who it is. But it says, the journey is less difficult when we find the meaning in our struggle. Okay? So the reason why I believe that is such a powerful quote is, in a way, it takes away the victimization of a struggle, right? It takes away feeling like the struggle that you're in will never get better. Once you start finding, like you guys all hear Mac talk about, the silver lining things, the reason behind it, then you can start having a little bit more control over it, or at least have some understanding. And when you got understanding of it, then it just changes so much. So anyway, I'll say that quote again. The journey is less difficult when we find the meanings within our struggle. All right, what do you guys think of that? Like, it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, right? But it's powerful. It's powerful in so many ways. So, yeah. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of interesting topics. As you guys know, Max Mind there isn't really a curriculum, there isn't really an agenda. We just kind of talk, right? And today I did decide to step out of the comfort zone a little bit, and I decided to write something out for how we're going to go about this, just so I could, try to stay on track. So let's talk about how attitude is everything, because I was that guy that always had a piss poor attitude in almost everything I did in my younger days. You know what I mean? I had absolutely no drive. I wanted to just let the world throw blows at me and just lay on the ground and just say, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. And that's pretty pathetic, right? So the attitude towards whatever it is you're doing, even if you're going to the zoo with your family and you don't care for the zoo, if you go there with a good attitude, you'll find the small things that'll make you happy. Now, I personally like the zoo. I haven't been to a zoo in a few years, but I'd really love to go back to one. That's for sure. Yeah, there it is. That's exactly it. The attitude. The attitude is always going to be everything. So, as soon as I started changing my attitude around, everything did start changing. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as I decided to stop being so negative, because I was, trust me, for those of you guys who've known me for several years, you've seen these phases that I've been through, right? So I started out, whether you met me in the military or not, I went from military to, I went into a pretty deep struggle to now, back on my feet and, progressing forward. And I was laughing the other day because I was thinking about it. If you would have told me a couple years ago, hey man, like, you're going to be okay. You're going to, be standing on your own 2 feet, and you're going to be hard charging life full speed, and you're actually going to be giving people an opportunity to learn from, your story. And I would have sat there and said, really? How's that? No, you're going to make music. Really? I doubt that. I highly doubt that. I honestly didn't see any of this coming. I promise. So just when you think that nothing is going to get better in your life, just know that there's always that chance that it will. You just got to give it the chance, right? You got to give it a chance to get better. And we can reflect back to how the attitude is everything. Like, the attitude is absolutely everything. No matter what the obstacle is in front of you, as long as you look at it and you say, I got this, or I'm going to figure out a way, isn't that, that's half the battle right there. Because without confidence, you're not going to be able to get very far. Trust me, you're talking to the king of woe is me. That was my whole life. Woe is me. Surprised I didn't get that from my first tattoo, you know what I mean? Woe is me. It was pathetic. But I'm not going to sit here and bash my older self. I'm just going to look back and say, you know what? It didn't work, right? I obviously wasn't going anywhere. So, now we're going to push forward. Take every day with a new attitude. Take every day with a goal in mind. Even if it's just something small, right? It doesn't have to be like this big goal. Like, today I'm going to go buy a $700,000 house and drive a Porsche down Broadway. I mean, if you think you can do it, hey, by all means, if that's what your goal is, I'm not going to be here to limit your goals. But my goal in the morning usually is, first thing in the morning, is I want to get up and I want to go and I want to spend 15, 20 minutes without electronics and just kind of sit outside and just enjoy nature. Now, does that goal happen all the time? Not really, because sometimes I wake up late for my alarm and I got to hurry up out the door and get to work. And that's the reality of it, though. But at least I'm not sitting here making excuses. I honestly just hit the snooze button too many times. I mean, how many of you guys have done that? Like, if you look at mine or Caitlin's phone, our alarms are literally set for every 15 minutes. For 2 hours leading up to when we're actually supposed to leave out the door. But hey, you know what? Whatever works. Takes me back to when I was in the military, and I actually woke up and it was 10 o'clock in the morning, and PT is a 6 o'clock first call, right? And I woke up and I didn't know what to do. I was just a brand new soldier, right? Brand new private in the Army, and I'm just standing in my barracks room, confused what I was gonna do. Do I go up and talk to them, or do I just stay in here? I started thinking of reasons of, I was late because, and then how can I injure myself and actually go to the, you know what I mean? It was just ridiculous. I don't know. I had never been late before in the Army, but I heard it was a really bad thing. And sure enough it was. As soon as I showed up, all the NCOs, all the higher ups looked at me and they're just like, hey, Macaulay, come here. And I just look like, I look lost, man. I look like a kid that can't find his parents at a fair. And I walked up to him. I said, yes, Corporal. And he's just like, so, why don't you go ahead and just do some push-ups for me? You know what I mean? Just go ahead. No, right there. Right there's fine. Right there's fine. Just go ahead and get down. And when I say push-ups, I'm not talking 10 or 20. I'm talking, he made me push until I couldn't feel feelings anymore. That was the beginning to the end for me. I did not want that kind of punishment anymore. And that was interesting times. I got a lot of interesting military stories and such. Hence why we're here at Max Mind. Because we're just going to go ahead and explore this interesting thought process that I got going on. For the most part, a lot of you that know me, I'm very direct. But if you listen to my music, or if you ever hear me try to explain something, usually I use parables or I'll use analogies. I'll talk about it in a different sense, and that's just the best way I've learned how to explain it. Okay, I mean, I can tell you, sure, the sky's blue, or I could say, oh, you know that color that's on the side of that building over on 4th Street? Yeah, look at the sky. Doesn't it look like that right now? And I'll take you around this giant block just to tell you something so simple. And that's beautiful. And just, in my opinion, it's beautiful. I'm not going to down myself for it. I'm painting pictures with my words. So, are you guys living or existing? And the only reason I ask that is because are you living to die or are you dying to live? Same thing, right? Are you living or are you existing? Are you dying to live or are you living to die? And the reason why I ask that is because there's a huge difference, right? 9 to 5. And I'm not going to sit here and bash anybody that actually does, you know, enjoys their basic life, drives their Prius, fills up at the same gas station every Tuesday, you know, shops at the same shopping center with a club card. You know, if that's how it works for you, then hey, by all means, do you. But to me, if I feel like I'm scheduled and I feel like I'm just existing in this world. I felt like I had to dream big. I felt like, for me at least, in order to live, I couldn't just do this whole settling for less, do this, do that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to make ends meet no matter what. You know what I mean? I will have a job. I will make sure I get through school. But I'm going to keep reaching for more. Because I don't want to just settle for, I guess I can just sit here on my military disability and just live on that for the rest of my life and yada, yada, yada. You know what? And that was me for a long time, way back, like when I first got out. But now, I decided to reach for the stars. I looked at the statistics rate for artists, and then I looked away because as soon as I saw that number, I was like, why am I even entertaining this? Why am I going to sit here and entertain the statistics when it basically says you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning than making it in the music industry? And you know, I said bet. Why do I say bet? Because everybody that told me I could not do it, everybody in the world who said I could not do it in the military, like you will not make it through your first contract, you won't make it to sergeant, and, you know, all these things. The reasons why I made it was more so because I was doubted that I could actually make it. You know what I mean? Like that fueled me because I've always just been that guy, and we all know who that guy is, right? I don't want to be that guy anymore. I want to be the guy. All right, so if you guys know about my movement is to give that voice to those who need it. You know what I mean? I have a bunch of really good friends out there who, you know, we talk about some things on some different levels. You know what I mean? Like we communicate about the people that we talk to, and not necessarily the situation, but just about, you know, how we're trying to help others. And have you ever noticed that people that are hurting the most tend to want to help people the most? I'm not sitting here saying, you know, I'm just a, you know, wounded Bambi on the side of the road that got hit by a truck, but I'm definitely saying that I enjoy seeing people get lifted up from their dark places, or at least giving them an opportunity. And the sad thing is I did put expectations on it at the beginning that, oh, they're going to just be better now. And some of them weren't, you know what I mean? Like when I was in my sober living home, we brought someone into the sober living home, and, you know, everything was sounding all good. And I really had high hopes for him. But the thing was, I needed to learn to not get emotionally attached, because some people are just not going to make it. It's not their time yet. And that's what had to happen. Like, you know, he was there for maybe 10 days and then he just bounced. And it was sad more than anything, because I saw in his eyes that he wanted to be better. He wanted to get past this phase of his life of, you know, living in the streets and having, you know, nothing to their name and owing so many favors. And, you know, I know that all too well. You know, I was that guy. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, act like I'm no Dr. Phil. I don't know PhD and nothing. Like, I don't even have a degree. I have a GED. But I'm working on a degree right now because I didn't quit. And trust me, if I can pull myself from the gutter like I was in and put myself where I am today, anybody can. Because if you knew me back in the day, you knew that a backpack with like maybe a change of socks, maybe a shirt, and like that was it. And I had nowhere to go. I just walked. You know, I was a slave to the substance. It was day in, day out. That's how it was. And it took me running into the wall, I don't know how many times, just to finally say, you know what, I'm sick of this. Obviously, this ain't going to get any better. Obviously, it's not working. Eventually, your soul just says, man, you need to stop. You need to stop what you're doing. And it doesn't have to just be with addiction. It could be with anything. Like, if you don't like, I don't know. Can't really think of another example. It's okay. You know, I'm human, just like the rest of us here. So, one thing I can say that's really useful in my life that actually becomes more chaotic at times because I do lose control of it, is my problem solving methods. I always feel like I need to be the direct problem solver for everybody. I feel like that whenever something's going on, I say, "What's up? How can I help? What can I do to help out?" You know, because I get anxiety if I know someone is struggling with something and I know there might be something I can do. But half the time they're just like, "Really, man? Like, just let me take care of my thing. Go do you." And then I feel like I'm just being, I'm involving myself too much. Yeah. So, the best way to solve a problem for me, man, is to just actually want to solve it. Like, and that's, I know that sounds pretty cliche that, you know, in order to solve a problem, you have to want to solve it, but it is. Like, that's absolutely 100% true. And the problems are what we make it too. Okay. Because I figured every single problem that I have encountered in my life was just a defeating moment. And then when I finally got back on my feet, I realized every obstacle in my way was more so like a, how can I apply what I've learned in my life up to this point to get past this obstacle, right? Running out of gas station not in sight. Do I freak out? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll probably freak out. No, but I will actually start making some calls ahead, like, hey man, this is where I'm at, can you do this? Because some people have meltdown points, right? Like the last straw, the straw that broke the camel's back, so to say. Like those are very real moments, and the sooner we can regain the grip on our thought process and being mindful in the moment of whatever the situation is. I'm going to keep using that running out of gas thing because, you know, me and Caitlin went to Idaho a couple weeks ago for the 4th of July, and we brought a gas can. Now, me being the problem solver, I don't know why I chuckled thinking, oh, yeah, why are we going to bring a gas can? Like, this thing holds a lot of gas. But you never know. You know what I mean? Like, so she was the brains of the operation. I sat there, and I don't know why. I just felt like it was a ridiculous idea. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, yeah, from here all the way out there, like driving through Wyoming, it gets really, really flat. It gets really spaced out. Like between Rock Springs and Rawlins, it's like a good 126 miles. And if you run out of gas out there, well, it's a good thing we got the gas can, right, babe? Yep. So, yeah. Two great minds think alike, so. Yeah, so you're out there freaking out on the side of the road because you just ran out of gas. And the first thing you want to do is start thinking about how everything is falling on top of you. How, you know, if it's not one thing, it's another. And this is very common, especially for people with anxiety. This is common for basically anybody. I don't even care if you have anxiety or not. This could be common for anybody. I have run out of gas before. I have freaked out before. I freaked out to the point to where I caused more problems than I caused any good. So, Mac's little lesson of the day is just take a few deep breaths. I know it sounds simple. I know that everybody tells you to do it. But when you're in the moment, it's probably the hardest thing to do. I'm still learning how to do it. You know, it's called the mindful minute. Before you make a decision, before you give your initial reaction to the situation, take a second, close your eyes, kick back, and just think about where you're at. Think about what's going on. And think about if I react this way, how is this going to help me get gas in my car? What if I pull my phone out and call this person? You know what I mean? Like, and just when you're more centered, you're able to make better decisions. Because for me, whenever I'm not centered, I kind of just go off the deep end. Like I'm that guy on the side of the road that's kicking my car, and like on the phone, the phone's going straight to voicemail, and it ain't working out. You know what I mean? Like it's just, we all have something we're gonna work on, and I'm just identifying the things that I know. Maybe this is more of a reflection on things that I already know that I should work on. And by sharing it with you guys, maybe it could directly relate to what you got going on too. I'm not sure. It's all perception. It's all going to be about perception. Now, I actually had to Google what that word meant not too long ago, perception, just because I thought I knew what it meant. I had absolutely every bit of confidence that what I thought perception was. I thought perception was the I don't even know if I want to say it because it sounds ridiculous. I thought perception was the ability to see what someone else has going on and relating it to your life. I don't know why I thought that. Okay, like when you look at somebody like going through something, you're like, dang, I'm going through that too. Like I thought that was perception because you're pairing. I thought it was like perception. I don't know. Anyway, so I had to look it up because for some reason it didn't sound like that was legit. So perception being whatever it is that you are taking in, whatever you see. If I'm sitting outside and I see a cop fly by with his lights on, my perception of that reality is that he is going to an emergency, right? Now there are those cops out there that will just turn their lights on and go fast just because they want to go fast, or they want to just blow through a light, or hey, it's okay. That's okay. I'm not here to judge. It's not my job. So my perception on life nowadays is completely a complete turn of the page what it used to be. I don't remember even having hope back in the day that like my perception on life was that you just live to just I guess make your family happy, and then that was it. You live to make other people happy, and that was it. And I'm dead serious. I did not think that you could actually love yourself and only worry about what's good for you, not in a selfish way, but just in a how can I grow? How can I become better? How can I raise the bar on myself every time? That was never really in my agenda, Even in the military it kind of was, but it wasn't for the right motives. Like I said, I got promoted out of doubt. I didn't get promoted because I really wanted to be in charge of soldiers, but once it did happen, I was like, oh, word, here I am. Sounds good. And then I kept pushing to the next step just because I kept being told, like, no, you ain't gonna make it. And yeah, I was that guy in the Army. I was not any bit who I am today. I was a firecracker. I had no respect. I thought I was, the bee's knees, so to speak, because I had, uniform. Well, you learn pretty quickly. A lot of people have that uniform, and a lot of them outrank you. A lot of them will beat your ass, and it will happen. So, yeah, my perception on life was just completely, bass backwards is what it is today. Because now I'm beginning to believe that life is about all of the challenges. Yeah, the happy moments are great, the achievements are great, but I believe life is about the challenges. Because how many times have you run into, like, let's say, I don't know, trying to write a paper for school, and you couldn't do it because it didn't really make sense to you, or you weren't feeling like you were able to do it. And then, like, eventually down the road, like, the more you practiced it when you finally got to college and so on and so forth, and then writing just became second nature. Like, the way you write, it sounded great. And you look back to when you first started, and you're like, man, that's not who I used to be. You know what I mean? The obstacles that you encounter, as long as you can learn from them. I'm not saying continuously go back to some of the obstacles that are bad for you. I'm just saying if you can acknowledge that something's in front of you, that you cannot get around it, or it should not be in your path. Maybe, just maybe, if I see it from afar next time, I'll either know exactly how to handle it, or I'll know that it's just not the right road I should be taking. And that's about as legit as it's gonna get. Life's about lessons. You know what I mean? And I was in therapy last year, and I'm gonna say this just flat out. I was never a person that you would ever find saying, "Hey, yeah, therapy, yeah, let's go." Like, I was the person who was against it. Like, how is this person gonna tell me how to fix me when they don't even know me? They talk to me for an hour a day, and they give me feedback, but usually it's something I don't want to hear. And you know what I mean? Like, I was just against the whole idea, anarchy, yeah, all that. But I finally just went into it, and I said, let's do it. I sat down, and it took a little bit for me to open up. And as I finally started to open up, I started to see the benefits of it. Like, I did not know how to use mindful in a sentence before therapy last year. No kidding. Yeah, 31 years old, didn't know how to use mindful before. And it became like almost my centerpiece of my, of getting my life back, being mindful. Can you notice the things around you? Can you absorb it? Less talking, more hearing, more observation. Because how many of us have hard charged through most of our life? I'm talking like the coach says, "All right, man, you're gonna run an I have switch down the middle between the center and the guard, and you're gonna just go straight. Keep your head down, keep your feet moving." And that was kind of what it was about for me. Like, it was just head down, keep going. I run into a wall, keep pushing, or just turn around. But there's no really takeaways. There's no takeaways of what I was doing. And now that I can look back, yeah, And trust me, I do. I look back at the wreck I made. It was not a pretty. It has not been a pretty sight. And that's fine. It's my it's my journey. And instead of observing it like, oh wow, that's just terrible, and wow, I'm just a blah blah blah, start ridiculing myself, I'm just gonna say, hey, that's my path. And you want to know why I am who I am today? Because of look at all that wreck behind me. I had to go through this, that, and the third to kind of be where I'm at today. And I'm not anything near, complete yet. God still has yet to work on me in a lot of ways. But the thing is it's a consistent challenge every day to remind myself that life is better. And my heart goes out to anybody who does suffer from extreme depression, anxiety, mood instabilizations, because I know I get it, and it's not fun. It's embarrassing sometimes, right? It's embarrassing, but the best way to to deal with it is to just embrace it and say, hey, you know what? It doesn't have to define me. My depression does not have to define me. Having anxiety attacks does not have to define me. Getting stuck up in my attic does not have to define me. Like it's just the more you can control, the more you can see what your habits are. Like the more you can see where you're going with your patterns of your life. If you know it's not a right way, calling it out, speaking into existence that I can't be doing this no more. I cannot be only wanting people's acceptance. And I'm using definite old Mac traits. If I did something, someone had to see. You had to see it. Because if you didn't see it, I'm going to make sure, hey, are you sure you didn't see it? Yeah, it is like, it had to be done for someone else every single time. I couldn't just be okay with my approval. I couldn't have been like, all right, bet, cool, yeah. I made a 3-point basket when I was 7 years old at the YMCA and nobody saw. But I saw. So why wasn't that good enough? You know what I mean? Why was it not good enough that I could acknowledge my own success? Because no one else did? My teammates didn't? The ref didn't? I'm pretty sure even the mascot was like taking a leak or something. I don't know, but there was this... It was a learning point for me. It was a huge learning point for me. I didn't see it at the time, obviously, because young, and, yet to encounter a lot of life's wondrous situations. But, yeah, I was actually told when I was a kid that life was going to be sunshine and butterflies. Once you turn 18, you're going to know everything. You're going to have the world in your palm. I said, okay, cool. So what I do at 18, I thought it was actually going to happen. And I got slapped right in the face. Rude awakening. And it woke me up a little bit. It kind of makes me look back, and you guys kind of look back sometimes and wish that you could have took advantage of nap time more at daycare. Because I know I do. Sometimes at work, I'm just ready to go to sleep. I just want to kick back and go to sleep. And yeah, it's healthy to look back sometimes and just acknowledge the way things were. If you're doing it for a constructive reason, if you're doing it because you want to get past a certain trigger or a memory, not with caution, obviously. Don't just hard charge it. That still is not. It's not going to be very productive. But it's almost like doing it's not really a total reset, but it's almost like a reset. Like you're looking back and you're saying, how am I going to approach this differently now? And that's where my mind goes almost all the time. Like I'm constantly evaluating situations. I'm constantly observing. I'm constantly, preparing for the ins and odds and outs of whatever could happen. Whether it be I'm driving on the road, on the back roads, and I see a semi behind me, and there's a semi in front of me, and just like, what am I going to do if, you know what I mean? And because you never know, you just never know. And I sometimes don't like that I do that, because I'm constantly just planning what the next move is going to be. And just getting a handle and trying to just, is it really worth stressing about, or is it worth more just saying, okay, well, you know what, whatever happens, happens. I trust that my instinct is going to guide me in the right direction now at the awesome blossoming age of 31 years old, where I finally started to get it together. You know what I mean? I felt like I was a toddler from 0 until 30. And now I'm finally starting to feel like I'm starting to get a little bit of common sense underneath me. A little bit of a solid footing. Yeah, always learning the hard way, man. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. I'm sure a handful of you guys can. It's not easy. And hey, by the way, I'm just gonna make it known that I am not believe it or not, I'm a shy person. I know it sounds really hard to believe, but like that's why like I keep stuttering and all that, and I'm gonna explain it just because this is a challenge for me sometimes to open up and to talk about the things that I've been through and whatnot, just like it would be for anybody. But as long I'm doing it for the reason to get better. I'm doing it for the reason so I could heal and I could move on, because I can't move past it until I overcome it. And one of my biggest fears is stage fright. Yeah, it's crazy. You're like, wait, you're an artist though. You go on stage. Yeah, believe it or not, every time before I get on there and Chevy or whoever the DJ is calling me up there, I have to close my eyes for a second, take a breath, and just say, just do it. Because I get the worst butterflies. I get the worst, it feels like I have a balloon in my chest. I feel like my head's really light. I feel like I'm getting tense in my shoulders. I can feel like the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Like it's just, I feel like a mess when I'm about to go on and perform. Even before I got on here, I sat there and I went over everything. I just want to make sure that, that I'm not overthinking it. And it's a beautiful process. It's a beautiful process to actually get past your fears. And for a lot of us, that fear could be, acceptance. And I'm not talking about like seeking acceptance. I'm talking about the acceptance of, will people actually accept who I am if I open up to them? You know what I mean? Will people actually? And it's a valid feeling. I believe it truly is a valid feeling. But let's not, camp in it. Let's not make it, a day job to sit there and worry if, the people around us, because, the right people will. The right people are going to, surround themselves by you. There are a lot of people that come and a lot of people that go, right? Keeping your circle constantly challenged and, just evaluating the people that you choose to invest your time in. Like, are they really there for you, or are they there for an investment? Or are they there for a convenience? You could say I was one of the nicest guys in the world, because I would do anything and everything just to make sure my people were okay. And like, I still will for the most part, but as long as it doesn't get in the way of my financial being, or if it doesn't get in the way of, my own health and welfare. Like, if it comes down to like, hey, you just need someone to talk to, or, if I'm in the area and you say, hey, you need to, like those type of things, like, you already know Big Bro will be there. But I had to learn some lessons when it comes to the whole money thing. Just because I don't want to put myself in a situation, just because I care too much. Now, if I got to do it because my heart and my soul and everything is just saying this is something you should do, it'll fulfill. There's no expectation on this, because it's the action. That's the only thing that we're doing here, the action, because this is who you are. Your heart is gold. Your heart is there. You care. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm gonna take a quick break here in a second, but I'm gonna throw on one of my songs off my first EP here for you guys, just while we take a quick 5-minute break. And it's Care by me, Mac Millie, featuring Elephant Boy, and it's actually it's become one of my favorite songs as of recently, because a lot of us do care. A lot of us don't want to care, but then we still do care, and we like get in a constant battle with ourselves on how we're going to level the playing field, so to speak, like how to care but not to care. You know what I mean? And that's absolutely right. Yeti, what's going on, man? Yeah, only willing to help if they're willing to help themselves. Like, I got to see some effort. Like, that's a really valid point. I got to see some effort. I got to see that you're actually trying, that you want this. Like, instead of it just being like almost like a request or an expectation. It's like, yeah, I'm about to go off a whole other tangent. All right, I'm going to throw on Care, Mac Millie featuring Elephant Boy. We're going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, we'll see you in just a moment. Here we go.
I care too much when most care too little. I'm scared not to care, yeah, I'm caught up in the middle. Been weighing me down, it's like it be such a riddle. Been caring too much when most care too little.
My life through my eyes, it's a mile in my shoes. I've been at it for some time, it's my rhythm and blues. Free to choose what I'm gonna do next, to win or to lose. Accept or regret, forgive me, I've been stuck contemplating. I care more than most. They say I need medication, my mentals are not the same. And yeah, my heart has been aching, I'm feeling separated. And no, I am not faking that. We're our biggest critics, and there is no mistaking that. Questioning intentions, relentless in every way, asking why we contended for acceptance in the first place. Our minds begin to pace, I'm racing against myself. Been praying for the peace, but needing to just save myself. It's sad to know the minute we doubt ourselves, we sell ourselves short, begin to derail mental freight train, questioning everything else, feeling inside like we're losing the grip on our mental health. Here's your ticket, welcome to my mental hell.
I care too much when most care too little. I'm scared not to care, yeah, I'm caught up in the middle. Been weighing me down, life can be such a riddle. Been caring too much when most just care too little. I care too much when most care too little. I'm scared not to care, yeah, I'm caught up in the middle. Been weighing me down, life can be such a riddle. Been caring too much when most just care too little.
Hey, coming from a past, deprived me from love. Tried to stop caring, too many have broke my trust. We then tend to try to blend into the crowd. If everyone is against something, I guess I'm against it now. I'm overthinking everything, yeah, just trying to fit in. Once I cared so much, scars make you scared to care again. It's sad to see someone who cared lose their faith. All that mattered before now becomes filled with so much hate. Identity lost, through the smoke appears a shell. Everything you become, you begin to mirror someone else. Another broken spine, put that book back on the shelf. We sell ourselves short, trying to be like everyone else. Everything you become, you begin to mirror someone else. Another broken heart, will it heal? Only time will tell. We sell ourselves short, trying to be like everyone else. Will we find who we are, waiting to be saved by the bell?
I care too much when most care too little. I'm scared not to care, yeah, I'm caught up in the middle. Been weighing me down, life can be such a riddle. Been caring too much when most just care too little. I care too much when most care too little. I'm scared not to care, yeah, I'm caught up in the middle. Been weighing me down, life can be such a riddle. Been caring too much when most care too little.
Your life is yours, you're special in every way. Carrying a lot isn't downfall, it's rare to find a day. Don't sell yourself short, and don't you ever quit. This is your life, I'll write your shoes, no one else can fit. It starts every day when you look into the mirror. If you can't stand who you see, wipe the smoke to see it clearer. You are who you are, and don't let them take your peace. Don't sell yourself away to gain acceptance too far from reach. While I'm preaching these words of self-reflection, just understand I've been through it too, and it's all just so much respect in this music to my ears. Helps me from ever neglecting myself ever again. No longer ever am I rejecting my peace. I hope when this track comes to an end, you nod your head in yourself, you find that you're your bestest friend. Don't change who you are for anyone, that's a fact. Stay true to your heart, you know Big Bro Mac has always got your back.
I care too much when most care too little. I'm scared not to care, yeah, I'm caught up in the middle. Been weighing me down, life can be such a riddle. Been caring too much when most just care too little. I care too much when most care too little. I'm scared not to care, yeah, I'm caught up in the middle.
What do you guys think? Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Like I said, it had to be one of those songs that I would have to come back to months later to be able to appreciate. Yeah. It's moments like that. It's, you know, this is the reason why I'm making music, is to be able to have something to look back and to remember a certain place where I was and how I got through it. You know what I mean? If I'm stuck in the middle of a, feeling like I care too much about something and I know that it's toxic for me, like, understand the difference. Like, if it's not good for you, but you're putting so much care into it. I see it so many times, with I've had multiple of friends who have been in, abusive relationships, and they wanted to be their light. And, I get it. I see where your heart's at. I know that but is it necessarily going to help? And I'm the only person that can, and it's sad because that person is totally convinced that they're going to be able to fix that person. And I wish there was something we could do. I'm sure you all know someone just like that, or you've known someone, or you currently do know someone who's in that situation. And it's toxic because those people are probably, they don't know any better than to be treated bad. And that's why we have to start every day in the mirror, like I said, and realize that everything we do has a reaction, whether it's a good reaction or a bad reaction. If you hold the door 7-Eleven for somebody, whether they say thank you or not, you might have made their day. And it's it takes me back to a moment where I was probably at my lowest. And I'm going to tell you guys here. I'm going to vent a little bit about a situation. So, about 3.5 years ago. Well, it was 3 years ago. It was just summertime. It was really hot, and I had just been in the absolute worst situation. That I walked right into. Homeless, nobody. I had nothing, and I was completely like if you knew me, you know what I'm talking about. I was isolated. I was so stuck in my addiction, nothing else mattered. And I was walking by myself, and I went to a 7-Eleven, right? I was hungry. It was probably like 8 in the morning. The sun started to come out, and I was like, I want to go in there. I'm going to steal some food. I'm going to go steal some food. Because I tried before saying, hey, 7-Eleven, like, can I sweep your parking lot for some donuts? And they're like, no, sorry, get out of here. And so today I was like, I'm going to go steal some donuts. I'm going to pocket stuff. Right as I was getting ready to walk in, I had a lady open the door, and she had a case of water, and she walked over to her bike, and she said, hey, I appreciate it, because I held the door for her, right? She said, I appreciate that. And she saw in my pocket, I had because I had one of those mini pocket Bibles, and this is before I actually, started, really understanding who God is, and before He actually saved me, and someone had given it to me, and I just kept it because I just thought, why not? You know what I mean? And she said, what's the word of the day? And I'm like, and I just pulled it out of my pocket, and I opened it up to a random page, and I read it. I can't remember what it exactly was that I read to her. But she looked at me, and she nodded and smiled, and she said, right on. Duly noted. I appreciate that. You have a good day. And as she left, I looked inside the 7-Eleven, and I was just like, for whatever reason, after I'd read that scripture, I didn't want to steal anymore. And I turned around, I just walked away. As I'm walking down the road, I see her circle back around, and she looks at me, and she's like, hey, I appreciate what you did there. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, just taking time out of your day to to read me what the good word of the day is. And I've been contemplating suicide a lot, and what you said, what God said through you in that book, just reminded me why my life is so valuable, and I'm not gonna go through with it. And I said, I didn't really know what to think. You know what I mean? Like, I hadn't done any good deeds while I was an addict. I was just an addict. But somehow that moment, it wasn't about me. That moment, and it doesn't have to be about religion or spirituality or anything. This honestly could just be about just being a good person, doing something selfless. I'm not saying go above and beyond and backwards and go buy someone a new car and put yourself in the hole. I'm saying like just small things. Like the people who are genuine are going to appreciate the small things in life. Saying happy birthday on their birthday, or belated if you missed it, because even then you're still wishing it to them. Hold the door 7-Eleven. I always use that phrase because that's how I started realizing the impact that I can have on people in a way where I wasn't expecting anything in return. I wasn't expecting anything at all. She wanted to hear the word, and I had no idea what the word was, so let's just open it up and read it. And I didn't know that's actually the best way to read, the book. And then she circled back around after she had already said thank you, and she said, "You believe in Jesus?" And I wanted to at first say the guy in the book, but I just said yeah. Don't know why I just said yeah. She said, well, he's proud of you. And I hadn't had really emotions in my addiction. There really wasn't strong feelings. It was all just numb. I broke down, guys. Like, I sat on the side of the street and I just broke down. I didn't even care who saw. At that point, I just didn't care. You know what I mean? It was about me. It was about feeling. And a lot of us are so afraid to feel sometimes because we feel like we're afraid to feel because we feel like it's going to have an adverse effect on us. Or, yeah. Why are we worried so much about how it's going to end up? Like, you don't know how something's going to turn out until you do it. It's okay to feel. I mean, look at my music. It's all about the feels. Mac Millie helps you deal with your feelies. We're not ever going to use that as a slogan, by the way, so please do not use that as don't sit there and say, hey, there's Mac Millie, the guy that helps you deal with your feeling. No, don't. If I see that, I'm going to be upset. All right, so don't do that. But yeah, I talk about my feelings. When I first started doing it, I was really upset. And I was like, why am I sitting here just whining? Why does everything I'm talking about have to do with something in my life that just wasn't working out, or that was a flop? But when I stopped being so critical about it and I just said, man, this is me. Like, why not? Why not? One of my best songs I have out right now, Turning Point. I could sit there and say I was whining the whole time because I was talking about how much it sucked growing up and, you know, to the day, how everything just never worked out. But that song is so powerful, and it's always my last song on my shows because I know that I want to leave with that big bro assurance that, hey, I'm one of you, okay? I'm definitely not a celebrity. I'm just a regular guy, and I'm just making music, and it's an outlet for me. And any of my artist friends who are on this live feed right now, or that will be watching on the playback, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's expression. So the final thing I want to talk about here is the expression, the expression behind what you do. That's where hobbies come into play, right? Just 'cause it doesn't have to be, oh, I got to go and I got to learn how to make music, but if that's where your heart is set, go do it. I used to rap all the time when I was in active addiction. Didn't know why, and it wasn't good. But I had no idea that I could turn that into what I'm doing today. This isn't just music. And if you guys know me, I don't care for the money part of it either. I usually just buy all my tickets flat out and I just hand them out to people. I don't want money to be a deciding factor in a movement. You know, eventually I'm sure one day it will be, but as of right now, where I'm at, it's about the impact. It's about getting people to hear my music. And it's not for everybody. It's really not. But for some people, it's going to be everything. You know, I have one friend, I won't specify by name, but he sent me multiple messages saying, yo, bro, today was a really rough day, and on the drive home, I put Back Then on, or I put Save Me Someday on, or I put Turning Point on, or, you know, I put Forgive Me on, and he would tell me what the songs were doing for him. And it just so happened to be in moments when I was in doubt too. Like I'd be sitting there just like really just feeling like, you know, because I get in the way of myself still. And just those little hints, those little reminders that, hey, what you're doing is it's coming from the heart. It's real. I can only name a handful of artists out there that don't swear in their music. Rock, rap, doesn't matter. You know, that don't flex on people. They just talk about them and what they got and like own it. I'm not being cocky. I'm just saying what the facts are here. It's a Mac fact, all right? And that's what makes me unique. And a lot of people won't like it. A lot of people haven't liked it. I've got a lot of recent hate messages, and it doesn't matter. Someone's jealous. All right? Yeah, at first it's like, oh, really? But that's just an obstacle. Like we talked about in the very beginning. Like attitude is everything, remember? My attitude towards it was going to define. What do? Do I just flop and think just because some haters said that my music, you know, is terrible and garbage and hogwash, whatever, that I'm just going to just quit? Or am I going to use that as incentive to keep pushing forward? Maybe they loved it with all their heart, and some people don't know how to express their feelings right, and they're just like, they meant to say, I love your track, bro, but they said, this is absolute garbage. I'm like, well, one man's trash is another man's treasure, I guess. It's positivity. We got to feed some positivity, you know. And I'm mainly talking to myself, and if you're taking away from this too, then that's awesome, but like, because we all hit these depressive moments. We all hit these moments where we just don't feel like we're 100%. It's not about avoiding those moments. Embrace it, feel it through, get through it, and just say, hey, we're human. Let's keep going. This journey is beautiful. Or it could be terrible, however you want to perceive it to be. Stinking thinking. Let's get out of that stinking thinking. I'm talking to you, Mac. And anyone else out there that they might feel like that could apply to them right now. Let's get out of this mindset that we're not going to get anywhere. That our dreams are just dreams. That our goals are unattainable. Like, attitude's everything. We got this, guys. We do. Like, I don't know what you guys got going on in your life right now. Sometimes, you know, you don't want to share, and that's okay. Sometimes it's okay, you don't have to share, but I want you guys to know that you guys ain't alone out there. You know? I thought for a while I was good to go. Like, I got off probation, I started a new life, thought everything was just good to go, but you know what? mental health comes around the corner sometimes and cracks you upside the head. Just a learning lesson for me. How can I handle it? How can I embrace the opportunity to grow here? Or am I just going to go back to my old way and just flop over and just feel sorry for myself? Obviously, that ain't going to work. Like I say in my slogan, guys, like it starts every day when you look in the mirror. Love who you see. You have to love who you see. I mean, you don't have to, but if you don't, then you're just, what are you living for? You're just existing, right? Like we talked about earlier as well, living and existing. We're just going to keep going, guys. We're going to keep going, okay? If there's any topics you guys want to talk about next week, you guys want to hop on, maybe do a, us just talking to each other. I don't even know what is that called? Like co-host? Like someone wants to hop on next week with me? Please inbox me. Let me know. I'd love to have people on. This isn't just about MaxMind. I know it's called MaxMind, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you got to tell the world. Social media is so full of all these things that are just hate, jokes, slander, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, sometimes entertaining, sure. But if we feed it with more things that are positivity and just honest and just humble to help others grow, you know what I mean? Like, and this is exactly what this platform should be for. Hop on and you happen to be scrolling and hop on up MaxMind, and next thing you know, like whatever we're talking about here, you're like, dang, I was just thinking about that, and now I feel good because I know that I'm not the only one. Because you're not. You're not the only one. A lot of us out there. We need to help each other. You know what I mean? Like, that's what this country was founded on, you know, coming together, uniting, and building together. Just because everything else is falling apart don't mean we have to. So, I really appreciate you guys hopping on. I'm going to go ahead and throw one more song on for an outro, and we'll see you guys next week, okay? Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and enjoy next week. Stay in touch. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw, let's see, what do I want to throw on today? What do I want to throw on? Let's do a classic. Here, we're going to do, I'll just surprise you guys. Here, do a classic. Here you go. Enjoy.
Sad, you know. Times we just need someone to say it's gonna be okay. Even when it feels like it's not.
We're all walking this line, trying to figure it out. To feel alright sometimes when I close my eyes, the lonelier I get. Comes as no surprise, I've been struggling most my life. Yeah. Feel alright sometimes, stuck in my own head sometimes, wondering where I went wrong. So I wrote this song asking, can you please save me? Can you please save me someday? I need you to save me someday, because this pain in so many ways, and it's got me feeling like there's no other way. Somebody please save me. Some days it's really sad to see. I try to look in the mirror, I don't like who's looking back at me. This goes back to when I was just a kid, trying to figure out what this living is. Yeah, I'm driven, so I'm giving all that I got. Be walking up in the class, trying to be everything I'm not. Everything I'm not, but everything I want, yeah. Getting bullied, wondering if this was gonna fade. Never made sense to me why the people, yeah, they love to hate. Was it insecurities that made the real one so fake? Were they going through something that made them retaliate? Empathizing on the struggle, it never did change, yeah. To understand it takes away the pain and the shame, yeah. We all have a struggle, we all experience pain, we all experience suffering followed by that uttermost bit of shame. I need to be here to understand how it feels, to understand how this loneliness it kills. Need of a saving someday. I can't get out of my brain. It seems there is no way out. Alone in my room, gun to my head. Would the world be better off if I was dead? Somebody please save me. Somebody please save me. Save me someday.
Alright guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in with me on that. It's been a good episode, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys who took the time to come and hang out and just explore Mac's mind a little bit. And the deeper we go, the more interesting it'll get. But I don't want to just explore my mind. I want you guys to come and explore your minds as well. Let's just unravel everything. Let's talk about it. Let's get past it. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys all hopping on. DM me, shoot me some suggestions for what we should do next week. If you guys want to, maybe do a trivia, something like. Let's have fun. Like there's really no rules and limitations except for morals and standards. So we're gonna make sure we're not gonna be doing no. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're not gonna be acting no fools. But we could definitely figure something out. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sign off here. Y'all take care of yourself. All right. And I will see you next week. All right. This is Mac Millie. Talk to you guys next week.
Seth got the waves.
Tundra Beats.
Like cash, been walking the line, searching for that silver line. In my mind, no denying, it's been dividing. Behind my eyes, I'm drowning, but I can't swim. Checking in mental detention. Yeah, I've always been that kid. Grew up and screw up, and I'll never forget. Like a badger with no clue, I didn't fit in. Don't know what it is that I'm expecting. I'm no stranger to being rejected. Your honor, hear me out, I'm objecting. Been fighting to survive my whole life. To find my peace, so now I'm projecting. I'm learning my lesson. I'm learning my lesson, yeah. Daydreaming, sometimes it is reminding. Home movie in my mind is rewinding. It's been killing me inside, and it might be my pride preventing me from unwinding. Daydreaming, sometimes reminding. Home movie in my mind is rewinding. It's been killing me inside, it might be my pride preventing me from unwinding. Daydreaming, sometimes reminding. Whole movie in my mind is rewinding. It's been killing me inside, it might be my pride preventing me from unwinding. Who'd have known life could be such a lonely route? I'm done searching for approval from the worst type of crowd. When the flame and my name's on, they'll go wild and out. When my struggle turns to trouble, tell me where are they now? Tell me where are they now? Daydreaming, sometimes it is reminding. Home movie in my mind is rewinding. It's been killing me inside, and it might be my pride preventing me from unwinding. Daydreaming, sometimes reminding. Whole movie in my mind is rewinding. It's been killing me inside, it might be my pride preventing me from unwinding. Daydreaming, sometimes reminding. Whole movie in my mind is rewinding. It's been killing me inside, it might be my pride preventing me from unwinding. The time is now, and now it's all on the line. We already know we can't go backwards in time, so it's time to stay right. Gotta keep up the fight, don't settle for less if it doesn't feel right. Gotta focus on your passion, don't let it pass you on by. Spend our whole life searching for the answers in our mind. Excuse abuse and the absence in our lives. Does it gotta be this way? Cause it don't seem right. It ain't making the cut, and it's been killing me inside. I've been daydreaming for a meaning, yeah, the reason for my life. No, I am not leaving till I open up my eyes.